Timeless Travelers. Welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time joining us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can join us on all of our future adventures. Definitely make sure that you go back and watch all of our previous adventures. This video is actually to talk about our trip to Dubai. We had a lot of people hit us up on social media, on different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, our personal text messages, stuff like that, asking us about our trip. They wanted us to review it and also to talk about how we booked the trip. So this is cool. So this is what we're going to do. So I actually wrote everything down so I can make sure that I didn't miss anything this time, because I do tend to miss stuff when I just kind of try to go off the top of my head. So the first and foremost thing that what people wanted to know was why Dubai. That's been a place that I've been actually trying to go for years. We actually have been planning this trip for about 3 years, and every time we try to go, something always came up. And it ran anywhere from finances to political stuff. Like, we could never seem to make it work. 2019 just happened to be when we could do it, and it's great, and I'm excited that we actually got to finally take my dream trip. This wasn't a trip that Will actually cared about going on. He just did it because I wanted to go, but it was definitely for me. And that's okay, because I got a great husband who wanted to make sure that I took my dream trip. So first things first, the airlines. We left on Air Canada. So I'm sorry, actually, let's go back. First things first, how much the trip cost. So one of the things that people had been asking us was, how much was the trip? So I want to put a disclaimer right here, right now. Disclaimer. We are travel agents. We did not pay full price for this trip. Our trip was not full price. We paid travel agent rates. However, had we not had travel agent rates, the trip, airfare, and both hotels for 9 days would have been around $3,000. Which I think is a phenomenal price for the hotels that we stayed at, and the airlines were great. Everything was fine except for flying from Germany, but anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So the first things first, the Air Canada is where we left from Kansas City. We flew Air Canada to Toronto. We were on a really small plane, and I did not like that at all. Will did not like that small plane. It was okay. It was 2 seats on both sides of the plane, which worked out for us because I got a window, Will got an aisle, and we were able to, just sit by ourselves, and that was fine. However, when we got to the airport, because our plane was so small, we actually had to walk off the plane onto the tarmac and then go inside the airport to get to our terminal. I've never experienced that in all my travels. I've never gotten off outside the airport. It was cold. I had to drag my luggage through the outside and then through this long hallway to get to the terminal, and it was just, I didn't like it, but it is what it is. When we got to Toronto, the airport was great. There was no issues with the airport. It was a little bit disorganized getting on the plane, the way that they had us boarding, but other than that, it was fine. The plane from Toronto to Dubai was actually a huge plane. It was an Airbus, so it was 3 rows with 3 seats per row. Will and I sat, he had an aisle, I had a middle, and then there was someone sitting on the right side of us. Will is obviously much taller than me. He's 6'3", I'm 5'6". So as far as leg room goes, he didn't have a lot of leg room. So he wasn't as comfortable as I was. I was fine. We'll probably next time may do premium economy just so he can have a little bit more leg room, but we definitely were not doing business class. The cost of a business class seat, one business class seat, would have been the cost of our entire trip. So that was not happening. So that was that. Once we got to Dubai, we actually stayed at the Imani Dira Dubai in Old Dubai. So the hotel was great. It was clean. Everything was great there. We had one issue with housekeeping that the manager actually came to our room and asked me, was everything going okay? And when we told them about that issue, they corrected it immediately. They apologized, and it was fine. The last day we were there, we actually upgraded to an executive room just so we could see what it was like. So if we had clients that wanted to go there, we would be able to tell them what it was like, as well as the lounge. And the lounge was great. It was fine. I think we went in there twice, and they kind of repeated the snacks that were in there, but other than that, it was fine. Now, the one thing about the Avani Dira Hotel that was very different from the Westin, I mean, there were obviously several differences, but the biggest thing for us was because they did have a lot of Indian clientele there and Muslim clientele, they served absolutely no pork at all. They had chicken ham, they had turkey bacon. They didn't serve any pork at that hotel at all in any across any of the menus. So that we did see that when we were there. It was close to a lot of like local markets or local shopping, things like that. It was not very far from other like discount stores and stuff like that. There was a mall close by, but we never went to that particular mall. So everything was fine at that hotel. Westin Mina Sayahi, we obviously was a very much more upscale hotel than the Avani Dira Dubai. It was in New Dubai, so we did have charging privileges there to charge stuff to our room. So if we had food on the beach, or if we ordered room service, or we had dinner there, even next door at the Le Méridien, we were actually able to charge it to our room and pay it at the end of our stay. So that was pretty cool. We didn't use all of the facilities while we were there. We did go to the beach and we did see, have dinner there a couple of times. We just didn't, well, actually, we had breakfast there a couple of times and dinner once, and then room service. We just had so many things planned outside the hotel that we didn't get around to it. So that was that. So we did enjoy that hotel a lot better than the Avani, but I would still stay at the Avani again. Spending money. That was a question that people were asking a lot about, was spending money. Okay, so I want to touch on this in parts. So first things first, as far as people were like, how much do you think I should save when I go over there? I'm like, honey, I don't know, because we spent a lot of money while we were over there. But one of the things that you want to consider is like, how are you with shopping? How are you with souvenirs? How are you with, one of the things that we spent a lot of money on was actually pictures. We actually did not put that in the budget, how much we spent for pictures. We bought the USBs and the printed photos of a lot of places that we went. So the VR park, we bought the USB, the safari, the desert safari, we bought all the photos there, so we wound up buying the USB. We did the Arabian photo shoot in Dubai Mall, we wound up buying the USB and the photos there. So we spent a lot of money on photos. Then we actually went somewhere we weren't planning to go, and I actually wound up spending a nice piece of change on when we went to IMG World and I did the Iron Man experience. You guys saw the price on that actually in the video, with the Iron Man action figure with my face on it. So we actually spent a lot of money on that as well. Not putting that in the budget again. We had money set aside that we knew, things that we didn't have budget for. However, there were things that we just didn't account for, that we didn't realize we were going to spend that much money on those things, which was photographs. Which was fine because we wanted our memories, but we just didn't have it, accounted for in the budget. So definitely make sure if you want those photographs, you're going to pay for them. The one photographs that we did not take, we actually took them, but we didn't pay for them because we thought they were just ridiculous, was at the Burj Khalifa. They actually took our pictures at the Burj Khalifa and did like green screen showing us like falling off of the building and stuff like that. The pictures were $80 US per photo. We were like, nope, thank you. You can keep those. We'll take our own photos up against the windows or whatever, but no, the green screen photos we did not do. We definitely wanted one of them, which is where they had you put the black gloves on, like Mission Impossible, and like climbing up the Burj Khalifa, but we just could not justify $80 for one photo. That was just stupid. As far as souvenirs and things like that, those are things that we actually did account for because he knows how I am. I'm always going to buy picture frames. You guys know that. I always buy picture frames and I always buy shot glasses. So that was souvenir money that I accounted for. We also bought pashminas as gifts for some of our family. We bought the camel milk chocolates for people in our family and for us. The camel milk soap, stuff like that. Just unique items that we would only get in Dubai. We paid for that. We had money accounted for those things. The traditional clothing, things like that. We knew we were going to buy that stuff when we went, so we had money accounted for that. One thing that we did save a nice amount of money on was some of our excursions and dinners because we had the Entertainer app. We actually bought that before we left. The Entertainer app was about $100, I want to say, but it paid for itself the second night we were there because we went to Aqua Adventure at Atlantis, and we actually, our dinner there at Atlantis at Kaleidoscope was buy one get one free with the Entertainer app. So the Entertainer app had a bunch of coupons in there for buy one get one free. So our Desert Safari was buy one get one free, Kaleidoscope buy one get one free. A couple other things that I can't think of right off the top of my head, but a lot of our dinners and a lot of our excursions were buy one get one free from the Entertainer app. So it paid for itself. It was definitely worth it. So if you're going to go to Dubai, I highly recommend getting the Entertainer app. Or also, using Groupon, but the Entertainer app just worked out so much better for us. Oh, the cruise, the dinner cruise that we did on the Dow, that was also buy one get one free. So we actually saved a lot of money with that app. Relaxation time being built into our cruise. That was a big deal because we actually did build one day specifically on that Wednesday when we got to the West End to relax, just sit by the beach, put our swimsuits on, and just kind of hang out and not really do anything. Well, because some of our other excursions kind of got pushed around because of time or whatever, we actually wound up leaving the hotel on Wednesday and going to the Burj Khalifa that night, just because we wound up having to change our plans around. I definitely highly encourage, if you're going to go to Dubai, to at least build one day in where you just sit down at your hotel or resort, whatever, and relax. Do nothing. The first day we were there, we got there late in the evening, so we ate dinner and just kind of hung out at the hotel. But of course, we were jet lagged from the trip and exhausted. But the next day, I actually specifically put going to Atlantis and Aqua Adventure in there, just so we weren't doing a lot of hustle and bustle. We could actually sit by the water park, sit by the hotel. Sit by the pool, not do anything, sit by the beach. We actually we did that purposefully to make sure that if we didn't want to do anything, if we wanted to sit down and take a breather, we could, because we were at somewhere where we could relax. Of course, we did all the water slides and stuff like that, but in the times when, especially Will wanted to just sit down and chill out, he was able to do that at the little cabana area that we stayed at Aqua Adventure. One of the biggest things I was not prepared for is being stared at a lot in Dubai. And I've heard different reasons why, and it was kind of, you guys know I'm very conservative. I'm not, I don't dress provocatively at all, so that was not a reason why I was being stared at. I did not see a lot of Black American women in Dubai. So it seemed like I was kind of a bit of a rare thing over there. I got stared at a lot, and I saw African women, a few, but I saw African women there, but I didn't see lighter hued Black American women. Now, Will kind of look like he might be from that area, but me, no, I do not look like them at all. So I think that was just kind of like, what are you? Where's she from? I did get stared at a lot. In the malls, on the train, on the tram, I got stared at a lot. But I mean, it's okay, it's fine, it is what it is. I never felt uncomfortable. I just noticed it a lot when we were out, that I was being stared at a lot. As far as being a Black Christian American, let me rephrase that. As far as being a Christian American, because I did have, we did openly pray over our food and things like that. No one ever made us feel uncomfortable. We didn't feel any way about that. The food. We enjoyed the food immensely over there. Now, with that being said, we are travelers who travel outside of the country a lot. We eat a lot of foods in different regions, different areas. So we don't just eat American food. So as for us, our taste palettes, we enjoyed all of the food. There was only a couple of items on a menu, like not the whole buffet, a couple of items on the menu that didn't taste good to me and or I didn't like. Other than that, everything was great. Clothing. I did get a lot of questions about the clothes that I wore over there, like as far as my shoulders being out and stuff like that. As long as I wasn't somewhere where I had like my shoulders at like a mosque. We actually wound up not going to the mosque in Dubai Abu Dhabi, because that's when Will got sick. We wound up not going to the mosque. If you noticed that day, I actually had on a t-shirt and shorts. I had planned to buy a cover when we got to Abu Dhabi, but we didn't go, so I didn't have to do that. But as far as the clothing is concerned, everybody was dressed normally. I actually saw more booty shorts over there at Aqua Adventure than I've seen at the Aqua Adventure in Atlantis and the Bahamas. I mean, a lot of people had on thongs. It was crazy. Not me, but that's what we saw. So, but as far as like public places like the mall, the dinners and stuff that we went to, people were dressed regularly. They were dressed normally. The only places where I saw people fully covered were people going inside of mosques. That was it. Um, I think that's about it, you guys. I think I covered everything. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I did also have some questions about like the outfits that I was wearing. Like some people wanted to know like where I got the things that I was wearing in the videos, especially like the African print outfit that we wore to Almacina, and a couple of other things. So I will put those things in the descriptions below, where you can actually, I'll put the links to those where you can actually go and purchase those if you want, because we did get a lot of questions about the clothing that I was wearing over there. I think I answered everything, all the questions that we got asked. If I missed anything, please feel free to comment below and let me know, and I'll be sure to answer those on your comment. Okay, so again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. I actually do have another adventure coming up pretty quickly. So you guys will be a part of that, and we look forward to seeing it. So I hope you guys' travels are timeless.